a little nippy out this morning. Had just my t-shirt on because I know it's getting up to about 70 today, and I'm like, well, I don't want to get too warm right off the bat and have to take off a base layer. But man, walking this first mile, I was getting a little too cold, so I had to put the base layer on. Now watch, I'll have to take it off in about 10 minutes, but I'm in the forest and the day has begun about a mile and a half ago. It is a beautiful day. Hardly a, well, there are some clouds up there, but they're the thin, random type of clouds that will give way to the sun most of the day. It's gonna be a beautiful day, a lot of good miles, walking towards Pearisburg. I almost forgot the name of the town. And we'll either camp right outside Pearisburg or on the other side of Pearisburg, or maybe up on Paris Mountain, which is a really cool mountain that has pretty much 2 miles of a flat spot on the summit. So a lot of places to tent up there. I don't know, you know me, make it up as I go. Figure out what I'm gonna do as I go, but a couple good summit opportunities today and some beautiful water. It's just gonna be a beautiful day. Looking forward to it. So let's conquer it. So I wanted to share a story with y'all that happened a couple nights ago. The night it happened, I was a little overwhelmed and emotional, so I didn't add it on to that day's video. And I really haven't had the right opportunity since then to talk about it, but I wanted to talk about it today. Feeling nice and peaceful out here and not climbing high right now or climbing low or too bad of rocks, so that'd be a good opportunity to tell you about this. The night that I was up on Chestnut Knob, where it had the big rains all day and then the torrential downpours overnight with the 50-mile-per-hour winds and turning to snow, and I was in the enclosed shelter. I got there and I was the only person there, about 3 o'clock in the afternoon, so you know, got changed over into some dry clothes, called my wife, talked to her because I had to signal up there, and then got a lot of food in me. Well, about the time I was done eating, there was a knock on the door. Yes, a shelter, and a knock on the door. Somebody said, "Can I come in?" I'm like, "Yeah, it's a shelter. You come on in." And ended up being a gentleman that was local, not a hiker. Well, I mean, he was a hiker, I should say, but he's not a thru-hiker. And he was just out hiking like a mile. Now, let me go backwards a little bit and tell you about this day. This particular day was my daughter's birthday. So one reason I decided to press on, even in the midst of storms, because I didn't really just want to sit around all day. I never want to do that anyway, but especially on that day, and just let my mind go rampant. Because for those of you who don't know, I am doing this thru-hike this year. I mean, I'm a thru-hiker that does, thru-hikes something every year, but over the last several years at least. But this particular year, I wanted to dedicate it to her because it was the 20th year anniversary since she passed. So it was her birthday on this day. And this gentleman walks in and says, "Hey, just normally do this hike every year on my birthday." I'm looking, I'm like, wow, okay, that's odd, because it's downpouring and getting colder, and it's a horrible day for a hike. But for his birthday, okay, I kind of get that. Well, he had a bag with him with some snacks and such, and he was leaving it there for any thru-hikers, that came through. He was hoping he would catch some in the shelter, I guess, and he caught one. But then he continues to pull out 2 beers, Mick Ultra. And he looks over and says, "Hey, will you have a beer with me for my birthday?" And, my instant, knee-jerk response was no. That you know, I don't mind having a drink here and there, but I don't really do any of that when I'm out hiking because it dehydrates me quite a bit. And about halfway through that, I stopped myself and I said, you know what? Yes, I am going to have a beer with you for your birthday, because your birthday, and I confirmed with them that, you know, this particular date was his birthday, not like the day before or anything like that. And it was that day. And I said, you know, you share a birthday with somebody very special to me, my daughter. And so we continued to cheer each other and have a drink. He continued on and getting his snacks ready, feeding his dog Moo Moo. And, you know, we just talked for a little while, and there was something strange about it. It just gave me this like weird peace and everything that, you know, obviously it's a rough day for me anytime, you know, whether I'm hiking or not hiking. Obviously hiking kind of keeps my mind on other things. But come to find out, he's a trail angel in the area and gives shuttle rides to people. But he's also a teacher by trade, and he does this on the side. He just really cares about hikers and helping them out and everything. And he lives, you know, just down in the valley there. So he comes up there, and come to find out, he really hadn't done this hike for a couple years. So he does it for his birthday, but he hadn't done it for a couple years. So here's the weird things about it. That's one. He hadn't done this for a couple years, but he did it this particular year when it's a torrential downpour and freezing cold temps and high winds, and that was a little odd. But the thing that really sticks out to me is that he had 2 beers. And he brought one for himself and one for whoever would, you know, do it for his birthday with him. Why did he only bring one? One extra one. How many times would there just be one person in a shelter? Usually, I mean, I'm a rare one, I know. I hike by myself, and I like it that way. But most people have, you know, 2, 3 people that are around in a tramily or whatnot. Well, I mean, if there was 4 people in the shelter, is he was just going to offer one of them a beer for his birthday? So that was odd to me. It's really odd. The other thing is, you know, my daughter, her nickname with me, I always used to call her my angel. And here, come to find out, this guy's a trail angel. Coming through blistering cold, torrential Noah Ark type of monsoon. And the big thing that was crazy is that morning, my wife, you know, we say good morning every morning. Sometimes we don't always have a signal, and we message, and always message each other first thing in the morning just to let each other know, you know, we're thinking about each other. I know. Oh. But she had texted me that morning, happy heavenly birthday to your daughter. And just to clarify, she said your daughter because she's my daughter from a previous marriage. Obviously, because we just got married last year. But she said, happy heavenly birthday to your daughter, and I hope that she finds a way to show herself to you. That one gets me. I hope she finds a way to show herself to you today. It's pretty powerful and pretty spiritual. I'm a very spiritual person, as you know. I'm not religious, but very spiritual, very much in connection with the physical, with my mental, with my craziness, and with the spiritual side, especially being in nature and climbing the mountains and the symbolic things and metaphors that it is when I climb those mountains and the struggles of life. And it's all very big to me. There was a couple other things here involved too. One being that he looked just like my cousin Donnie, or a great cousin or great uncle. I don't really know what you would call him. He was my grandmother's brother, so I'm not really sure what that would be. Or great grandmother, I don't know. But I think it's like a great uncle or something. But he looked just like him, younger. And he was one of the few relatives outside my immediate family that had met my daughter. And so that like connected with me. And that was obviously something that, yeah, only I would notice, obviously. But the one beer thing, the coming through a storm, it's like I It's like he probably just felt like, I don't know why, but I just feel like I have to go out in this storm today and walk to that shelter and bring a beer and bring some trail magic up for any thru-hikers that may be there. One in particular. He didn't know I was there. He didn't even know who I was. And I just want to say I'm really thankful for that moment, because it made a hard day a little better. So if you're watching, Trail Angel Donnie, you helped me a lot that day. And I'm sorry, I'm getting a little broken up here. That's why I had to wait for the right time to do this, because any other time I'd probably be bawling on the ground right now. But thank you, Donnie. Thank you, God, for letting that happen. And thanks to my wife for having the wherewithal to message that to me that morning. So if nothing else, it was a confirmation to me that it was something divine and something bigger than me and you that made that happen. And it felt really good. But afterwards, I called my wife to tell her all about it. And obviously she was overwhelmed with it too. But it was, sorry I'm crying. I hope I'm not getting everybody else crying. But it was a special moment, especially on the year where I'm dedicating this to my daughter, Christina. Christina, we are going to conquer this trail, because you're a big reason I'm as strong as I am. And this one's for you, baby girl, my angel. I just stopped at a brook to take one of my layers off, get some snacks, put it in my pocket so I didn't have to keep taking the backpack on and off. I'm going to be starting to climb here again. And I didn't need water yet, so I didn't get any water, but put the backpack back on, started walking, and just have to say, I have it perfect. It doesn't always happen. In fact, it rarely happens. Usually have to readjust 50 times once it's on. Just a little wrong on the left, a little wrong on the right. There seems to be more weight over there. But man, every once in a while you get it just right. The level of tightness, the level, the load lifters, like the tightness of it. And everything is just right to where it feels like it's not even on you. And that's what I feel like right now. It just... it's no lighter than it usually is. In fact, it's a little heavier because my resupply in Pearisburg was a little heavier than usual, because I wanted to be ready if I stayed out for, 4 to 5 days of food. So I have a little extra in there, but right now it's just sitting just right on the hips to where, and like the pants are up in just the right spot to where it's kind of on that and not rubbing against the skin. Not rubbing against the back, not rubbing against the hips, and not pulling on the back or neck. Now, that's not to say in 10 minutes that it will be, because it moves around, obviously, as I walk. So you have to readjust a lot, but for right now, it's perfect. There's so many different kinds of forest here in the last few miles. It just keeps changing the look with the types of trees, the spacing, the type of vegetation, the leaves covering trail, the roots, the rocks. It's a lot of changes. Really, it's cool. It's like walking from one world to another. It definitely helps the day go along when it doesn't have the very similar look for most of the day. Having that change always feels like you just got to a new level for the day or something. Not quite as much as some of these mountains, but can't always be on the top mountaintop, I guess, or be climbing one. So I've been doing some pretty cool stuff here for the last little bit. I was climbing up Sugar Run Mountain and my phone was dead, so I wasn't really able to do a whole lot of video there for a minute. And I thought, oh, I'll just charge it as I'm climbing and, you know, get the shots and everything once I'm up on the summit. Well, it didn't charge. Apparently the cord got loose or fell out or something as I had it in my backpack charging, so. No pictures or video from up there, but that's okay. I climb a lot of summits, so I don't have to have pictures and videos from every one of them. It's right here. And I climbed it last year, so it was already in there. But a lot of towers up there. Some really good views on a clear day like this, but not quite 360 views, and obviously towers and some of those views, but beautiful nonetheless. So I got that one bagged and then continued on the AT and came to some roads, intersections, and some alternate trails and such that was coming off. So I just started exploring. Like, I don't know if I was feeling bored or adventurous or what, but maybe a little bit of both. And I thought, man, 70 degrees out. I have the next 3 months of hiking to Mount Katahdin. I'm just going to take like a half hour, an hour, and just explore different areas of this area. So that's why I'm on this little dirt road right now for about a half a mile. Just kind of checking out some things, doing some side trails, obviously navigating, and you know, not just doing it blindly. I know where I am, and of course, not my first rodeo, but just checking some things out in the area, and be back here on trail here, probably like a half a mile or so, and just kind of cool seeing things from a different perspective without the white blaze. So just having some fun and not missing any of the AT, don't worry. For you purists, I am not a purist. I will say that right now. If I miss a section of trail and do something else instead, I am perfectly fine with that, because it's my journey, it's my hike. But that's not what I'm doing right now. I'm just getting off the trail, doing a little thing, coming back to the same area, and just checking some things out. It all looks very similar around here, but you know, I don't know. Sometimes you think, well, if I'm not on the AT, maybe I'll see a bear. Maybe I'll see something cool that I haven't seen somewhere else. But most likely not. But it's still cool just to see things from a different perspective. So that's what I'm doing, is just kind of being adventurous and checking some things out, doing a little exploring. Probably got about 8 to 10 more miles here today, sitting right around 12 or 13 right now, I believe it is. So it's a beautiful day. I'm going to take advantage of it and enjoy those sun rays on my body and on my face and in my soul. Oh, and by the way, Sugar Run Mountain is in the bag. I'm now starting my final ascent, right before dropping down several thousand feet into Pearisburg. The final ascent is Paris Mountain, one of the longest summits that I've ever been on. It's about 2 miles, maybe 3 miles long. And it just seems like you're not getting anywhere or doing anything at all. Hardly any incline. It's so gradual. And like one end of the summit is just a few feet, maybe a couple dozen feet more than the other end. So that's obviously the summit of the summit. Yes. So that's where I need to call it out from. And you just keep walking along the top of this thing what seems like forever. Now, the time I was up there before, I kept looking at my phone, like, I have to be there. It's not like there's a sign or something saying, you know, you're at the summit of Paris Mountain. And everything just, you keep looking in front of you, like, man, it just doesn't look like it goes any higher than where it is right now. It just looks like it stays at the same level, so you would think the summit would be anywhere. But anyway, I'm starting that ascension right now, and then it drops down, I think, 2,500 or 3,000 feet. No. About 2,000 feet. Something like that. Yeah. No, about 2,500. Yeah. I'll get it right. But some of that is up and down on the actual summit. If you're on a ridge, it does move a little bit up and down, even though it doesn't look like it's moving much. But anyway, starting that ascension right now in some nice warm sun. Gonna have some great views up there of the valley of Paris Valley and the town of Pearisburg from up high. Already been there once a couple days ago. Be going around it or through it again either tonight or tomorrow. Just depends where I want to camp. Beautiful view down into the valley, right outside of Pearisburg. Crystal clear day. Gorgeous views. Wow. The funny thing is, this is at a power line. You can see the lines going there. Absolutely stunning. And there's more on the other side. Let's go over there. Big old power line. Beautiful. Still climbing. Oh, hey. Oh my goodness. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7 of them. Seven deer running right next to me. Didn't even notice it until, or walking right next to me, whatever they were doing. They weren't running until right when I said I was still climbing, and then boom, they were taking off and running in front of me. And there's a couple more over there. Those are not the same two that just ran. They went off in a different, like more like over there, and these are over here. That's 9 of them in a 30-second span. About a quarter of a mile here from the summit of Paris Mountain. Standing on the summit of Paris Mountain, overlooking Paris Valley and the town of Pearisburg. There will be a lot more open views on the way down. I know that it does cross some cliffs. That was some really good views of this valley. Been pretty much walking along that valley though for the last couple of miles. And that summit is still long. It does end though, even though at times it feels like it may never end. Couple miles of a flat top mountain with just a little bit of ascension during that time. Little spurts of it. You can just tell that you're not at the end because you can see up above you, or ahead of you, I should say, that it's higher than where you are, but not by much. But I digress. Once again, it's still beautiful. It doesn't matter how long it is and whether the views are spectacular behind the trees or in front of the trees. Paris Mountain is in the bag. Angel's Rest. Let's check it out. Had to turn the phone off for a second to climb up this rock. It's a pretty high step. The town of Pearisburg. Absolutely beautiful. To have a town called Pearisburg and a mountain called Paris Mountain overlooking it, that's pretty epic. I really dig this town. It's one of my favorite towns on the AT. Look at the mountains, the way it just wraps around the town. And this is Angel's Rest Rock. Basically a sub-summit of Paris Mountain. And Angel's Rest Rock is in the bag. By the way, I want to correct something I said a couple days ago when I was on a zero in Pearisburg, and I was showing you all the town and you know, the hostel I was staying at. I called it Angel Wings Hostel a couple times. It's not Angel Wings, it's Angel's Rest, the same as that rock or sub-summit that I was just on. So I apologize. It is Angel's Rest, not Angel's Wings. And now I am descending this mountain. It's about 1.7 miles of 700 feet a mile descent and switchbacks, so pretty steep, and it just keeps going like this, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. So this is going to be fun on the knees, but I love it. I love every part of it. Up, down, all around. I love the up more though. I love standing on top of the summits more than any of it though. By a smidge. Right, my day has come to an end. Feeling good, feeling strong. Hear a train in the background. Must be getting really close to some train tracks. But I'm at 27.5 miles, and I think it's about 4,300 of elevation. Might have been 5,300, I'm not sure to be honest. But it was definitely 27.5 miles. Feel really good. Probably go another 10, but I'm not going to. Actually going to set up camp as close to Pearisburg as possible, and I'm going to most likely go in there and eat some dinner. But at the very least, I'm going to go in the morning and eat some breakfast and utilize some Wi-Fi. I am in desperate need of some Wi-Fi for some videos. So need to do that before moving on tomorrow, but then I'll be moving on and getting close to Dragon's Tooth, McAfee Knob, Tinker Cliffs, Daleville, wrapping around Roanoke. All things in the next couple days. Lots of beautiful things to see. The weather's looking good, pretty clear for quite a few days. It's going to be like 60, 70 for a couple days, and then it dips down, I think 40 and 50, and one day barely gets above freezing, but still clear. That I like. Winter's not over, not quite yet, so there's definitely going to be some cold days left. I know that cold day I had at Chestnut Ridge was not the last one. So everybody have a good night tonight, and I will see you in the morning. Thanks for tagging along. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't. And if you want to help out on the trail, There's a GoFundMe link and a Cash App link in the description of every one of these videos. Your help is very much appreciated while I'm out here on this journey. I will see you all in the morning. And remember, live life.